Oh my god, that season was so insane! And the fact that a third season was announced immediately after it ended has me completely hyped! Now all that's left to do is just sit back and patiently wait for the next season. So how's everyone been lately? Playing any good games? Right now Elden Ring has my complete attention. Wait. Gyutaro is... How's it going, everyone? I'm Ames, and today we're going to take a closer look at Gyutaro and Daki, aka Ume, aka the high-rank 6 demon, aka the weakest high-ranking demon. Okay, so there's a lot to look at here, and... No, not that! Error! Wrong clip! Yes, I'm sure! Okay, so Gyutaro was born in the lowliest part of the red light district, and apparently he was so ugly that his mom tried to kill him on multiple occasions. Because in the red light district, beauty means everything, and if you're not beautiful, you can't contribute to the family, so you're just an extra mouth to feed. He felt like his life had no meaning until his younger sister was born. Her name was Ume, and according to Gyutaro, she was named after the disease that killed their mother. Now, I originally thought that Ume meant beauty, so while watching the episode, I thought that he meant it was the world's beauty that killed their mother, because they were in the ugliest part of the world, and it's only considered ugly because the rest of the world was beautiful. And because they were trapped within that ugliness with no means of escape, their mom got sick and died. Or maybe it was Ume's beauty that led to her death. Either because Ume was so beautiful the mom got the jealous disease and killed herself, or maybe she died during childbirth, and Gyutaro thought she died because Ume was so beautiful. Or maybe it was more metaphorical. Like how it was beauty that killed the beast. You know, something poetic like that. But no, apparently Ume means plum, so she must have choked on a plum or something? I don't know what to say. It's a lot less poetic at least. If someone knows what the disease is, then feel free to let me know in the comment section, because I'm completely stumped here. Anyways, after Ume was born, he felt a sense of responsibility for her protection and making sure she had everything she needed. After their mother died, Gyutaro got a job as a debt collector. He was physically gifted with an ugly face, so people naturally came to fear him. Then there is his sister who, due to her immense beauty, became incredibly popular and started taking in customers from a young age. Eventually, a customer pissed her off, so she stabbed him in the eye with a hairpin. In retaliation, the customer, who was a samurai, burned Ume alive. He then tried to kill Gyutaro because a woman convinced him that Gyutaro was a maniac who would indiscriminately attack people. Gyutaro not only survived the samurai's initial strike, but recovered and killed both the samurai and the woman. They were then saved by the previous high rank 6 demon, who we currently have no information on, but he has to have ranked up, right? Please no spoilers for those who have read the manga. After that, Ume changed her name to Daki, and from there they went on to use her beauty to move into a high-ranking house in the center of the red light district, and either eat or torment the inhabitants. It was also stated that they have killed Hashiras before, being a total of 7 if I remember correctly. 4 for Gyutaro and 3 for Daki. Then we know what happens next. Tanjiro and the rest of the gang shows up and there's a big awesome fight with an epic conclusion. Now, as I watched that final episode, a couple of things occurred to me. In one scene after Gyutaro and Daki had everyone be in and unconscious, Gyutaro started talking to Tanjiro. He started asking him about his sister and telling him as the older brother it's his responsibility to protect her and not the other way around. He also pointed out Tanjiro's scar, saying it made him look hideous and disgusting. And he just kept piling on the insult, saying how pathetic Tanjiro is and how it would be better for him to just die. While watching this, it was pretty obvious that Gyutaro wasn't only talking to Tanjiro in that moment. And that became even more apparent when he offered to turn Tanjiro into a demon. Gyutaro clearly saw his past self in Tanjiro. If we compared the two, we would see that they were both born with incredible physical abilities. They both have scars on their faces, and they both have a younger sister who is the most important person in the world to them. Seeing the similarities between the two of them caused Gyutaro to remember his human self, which he hates. His human self was ugly. His human self was despised. His human self allowed his beautiful sister to be burned alive. He was a failure, a disgrace, unworthy of life, until him and his sister became demons. As a demon, Ume regained her beauty. He became stronger, and they were able to gain even more strength by eating humans. They had power, influence, and control. Now they were no longer the insignificant kids who had everything taken from them. They were now doing the taking. This is why Gyutaro offered to turn Tanjiro into a demon. Nezuko was already a demon, so all that was left was to allow Tanjiro to become one too, so he can follow in Gyotaro's footsteps. That is what Gyutaro was hoping for. Of course, Tanjiro declined and eventually claimed their heads, but Gyutaro was confident when he made that offer. Not just because he thought that he could kill him if he refused, but because he never thought Tanjiro would actually turn him down. Gyutaro was sure Tanjiro would accept because he thought Tanjiro was just like him. Gyutaro was ugly, weak, and incompetent, just like Tanjiro was at that moment. But there was a couple of things that separated the two, the obvious being their upbringing. While Tanjiro had a loving family, warm meals, and a roof over his head, Gyutaro doesn't know his father, had a mother who had repeatedly tried to kill him, had to hunt down rats, bugs, and snakes to eat, and an old beat-up house to live in. Having such a positive upbringing gave Tanjiro a different perspective at life. If he had even a remotely similar upbringing to Gyutaro, would he have accepted his offer to protect Nezuko? He probably didn't care about himself, but for Nezuko's sake, think he may have been willing to become a demon. It's only due to his family's love and affection that he tries to see the good in people. Even when slaying demons, he will reach out to them in their final moments to give them some sort of comfort as they are fading away. We also know that he holds his family in high regards. When he was placed in an illusion by Enmu during the Mugen Train arc, he saw his family ridiculing and insulting him. But he broke out of it on his own because the way his family was treating him is not how they would have actually spoken to him. He knows that even if he screwed up and he was responsible for their death, they would not have scolded him for it. They wouldn't put the blame entirely on his shoulders. Even if it was his fault, they would have forgave him. The only person who has showed Gyutaro that type of affection was his younger sister. We know that she thinks very highly of Gyutaro because whenever she was in trouble, she would call to him for help. Even when they were finally slain, she had an opportunity to go towards the light while he was forced to go to the darkness, which represent heaven and hell, or reincarnation and the void from Buddhism. And she chose to stay with him, despite it taking her down to the depths of hell or void. Now, why was she given an opportunity to go towards the light after all those heinous crimes she had committed? She had killed and eaten an innumerable amount of people throughout the centuries, and yet she still had an opportunity to receive a good ending. Why is that? If we take a look at the events that led to them becoming demons, we can theorize that it was because she was practically dead. The only reason she lived is because she fused with her brother. Despite her soul remaining in a body, that body wasn't hers, it was her brother's. That explains why he was residing within her, and why you would need to decapitate both in order to kill them. So since the body wasn't hers, all of the sins she had committed were instead attributed to her brother. Of course, that alone wouldn't have allowed her the opportunity to get off scot-free. It was also the fact that Gyutaro fully accepted all of the evil deeds she had committed as his own doing. He blamed himself for her violent nature and believed if she was born into a good house, she would have turned out better. If it wasn't for her looking up to him and treating him as her role model, he even tried to push her away and into the light. But she refused. Because of his previous influence once again, he had promised her that no matter what, they will be together, and he will protect her from the whole world. She took that to heart, so she was willing to go down to hell with him, almost similarly to how Nezuko treats Tanjiro. Despite becoming a demon, Tanjiro's voice brings her back. He's her role model and guardian. She wants to live up to his expectations. Even if she loses herself to her demon blood, as long as Tanjiro is around, she will come back. Now, could this have been different? If Nezuko had killed someone before Tanjiro had gotten to her the first time around, would Tanjiro accept handing her over to the Demon Slayer Corp? Or would he have taken her side and helped her escape? I personally would like to believe that he would have preferred to do the deed himself and taken responsibility for Nezuko's actions. But on the off chance that he doesn't, and instead takes Nezuko to Muzan and becomes a demon himself, then he would have been the same as Gyutaro and Daki. Now for the other side of this, what if instead of being saved by a demon, Gyutaro and Ume were rescued and taken in by a demon slayer? Ume would have most likely worked at the headquarters while Gyutaro became a full-fledged demon slayer. Due to him already being physically gifted, he would just have to master a breath style. And there is one that I believe would work perfectly for him. Now, think about Gyutaro's most distinguishing physical feature from when he was a human. If you thought about the scars on his face, then you would be wrong, because it's obviously his green hair, which is similar to Mitsuri Kanroji, who is the only Hashira with green in her hair. So obviously Gyutaro would use the love breath style. Okay, I'm obviously joking here, but could you imagine if that was the case? Just based on Mitsuri's season 3 artwork, it looks like her sword is like a whip blade. And if that has anything to do with her breath style, please no spoilers for those who have already read the manga, then it could actually work well with Gyotaro's fighting style. In all seriousness, those marks on his face could actually be the hint of what breath style he would use. Unless those are just scars from his mother trying to kill him, then never mind, they don't mean anything. But if he was born with them and they attribute it to his ugliness, then that directly links to what we know about the sun breath style. People who are natural born users of the sun breath are born with marks on their faces. So if Gyutaro had properly trained, he could have eventually learned the technique. Seeing as how Tanjiro's scar expanded during his final strike against Gyutaro, that could be foreshadowing to him being a natural user of the sun breath style as well. And would then mean that Gyutaro could still use the sun breath style even if the scars on his face were inflicted by his mother. Again, please no spoilers for those who have already read the manga. All of these similarities between the two led me to believe that Gyutaro is in fact Tanjiro. Not like him and Tanjiro are the same person, but they are dopplers or mirror images of one another. I think the author was trying to get this point across, with both of them being incredibly strong from a young age, losing their families and having only their younger sister left to take care of. Despite them being nearly identical in many different ways, they both found salvation from different sources. Tanjiro found it from the demon slayer Giyu Tomioka, the water Hashira. He not only introduced him to the Demon Slayer Corps, but even vouched for Nezuko when the other Hashira wanted to kill her. Gyutaro was saved by a demon, the former high rank 6 demon. If their roles were reversed, they may have followed in the other's footsteps. Which is why I consider Gyutaro to be Tanjiro's inner demon. At one point, he tempts Tanjiro to betray the Slayer Corp and become a demon. He shows Tanjiro his own weakness, and then shows him how that weakness can be turned into strength. He promises him that he can become strong enough to protect Nezuko from anyone who wishes to harm her. Of course, Tanjiro was raised to help and love other people, so him becoming a demon was never an option. He could never bring himself to do harm onto innocent people, even if it was to protect his family. It was the course that was fortunately avoided by one, but consumed the other. And that's going to be it for this one, folks. I would like to thank you all so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and remember to keep having fun. See ya!